Dads are an important part of growing up. They are stalwart teachers there to help you learn life's important lessons. Whether that lesson is learning to ride a bike, how to properly set up a tent while camping, or showing a galactic ruling class that they need to bow at your feet, or their entire homeworld will be destroyed along with all the residents of that planet. With a few select being allowed the opportunity to show their worth and be adopted into your family. Yeah, dads are great. And while there are many cool dads in the Marvel Universe, we're looking at you, Cyclops and Wolverine, and there are smart dads like Reid Richards of the Fantastic Four, there can be only one greatest dad in the universe, and that award falls to the Mad Titan Thanos. Here are the reasons why Thanos is the greatest dad in the universe. He isn't. And while Thanos may be the universe's greatest dad, we would be your greatest fan if you hit that subscribe button. Thanos is a ruthless tyrant, sure, and his ruthlessness kind of fuels who he is. But when it comes to his children, or potential children rather, he is a very encouraging father. And by that we mean when Thanos arrives at a new planet for conquest, he assesses the denizens of that planet and what their skill level might be. He then proceeds to crush the planet's governments and employ his own brand of ruling. After doing this, he rounds up all the people on the planet and encourages them to display their super prowess, in the attempt to find a potential new child to adopt and add to his ever-growing family. But after acquiring his new child, the encouragement does not stop there. Oh, quite the opposite. The Mad Titan often encourages his children to test their skill levels amongst each other to win his favor. And since there is nothing more important than a father's love, his children often engage in battles back and forth to determine a sibling pecking order. It's tough being a single dad ruling the universe, and it is nice to see that Thanos can find the time to encourage his children to be the best that they can be. When you think of the Mad Titan Thanos, last of the Eternals, the last thing you probably think of is compassion, and that is pretty fair. He doesn't really give you much to go on with the whole countless planets being destroyed on flights of fancy, but in the case of his daughter Supergiant, he is quite the compassionate father. Thanos and Supergiant's paths crossed when Thanos was looking for one of his biological children in an orphanage. Supergiant witnessed the Mad Titan disciplining his biological child to the point of non-existence, and asked him if he would reward her with the same fate. Thanos noticed that Supergiant was looking for a father figure, and was in need of someone to guide her. He scooped her up out of the institution, and has brought her with him nearly everywhere he has gone since. Thanos sensed that Supergiant was a telepathic vampire/mental parasite, and saw the pain that was caused when Supergiant doesn't feed on the intelligence of other living beings, and made the compassionate decision to let her eat the intelligence of his enemies whenever they invaded a new world. Thanos found a child who needed a family, and was overwhelmed with compassion for the child. Sure, he gained a mental link with a telepathic vampire that feeds him knowledge from the minds that she devours, but we're pretty sure it was the compassion that drove him to adopt Supergiant. Thanos loves all his children, whether biological or adopted, whether alive or dead, with the latter usually being by his hands. But that is the epitome of a father's tough love. Thanos loves his kids so much and sees so much potential in his kids that he needs to fight them and see if they can live up to the name Thanos. Now sure, that tough love often leads to the death of his biological children and the mutilation of his adopted ones, but Thanos just wants them to be great, and will do anything that needs to be done to make them great. In the MCU, he has taken a more hands-off approach with the tough love, in the form of how he has raised his two daughters, Gamora and Nebula. With his two girls, he constantly makes these two duel one another to the point of near death. The winner is awarded with the universe's greatest reward: mild praise from Thanos. The loser is rewarded with something not as good, but still pretty great: augmentation. Meaning if you lost a fight and it was determined your arm was your downfall, it would be removed and replaced with a superior robotic arm, so that way you would have a better chance in the next duel. Tough love is a tough part of being a papa, but sometimes you know that your kids will be better on the other side with a little tough love and a robot arm. Now, while this list is pretty satirical in nature, this one kind of shows more of Thanos' softer side for real. Thanos is a monster, sure, but he truly does love one of his children, that being Gamora. For her, he picked a day as her birthday and celebrated many holidays from various parts of the galaxy, choosing Christmas from Earth as one of those holidays, going as far to get a fully decked out Christmas tree and presents for her. He knew that her life as an adult would be brutal and filled with combat, so he tried to give her as normal a childhood as possible. During their Christmas, he gave her a baby doll that Gamora loved deeply. She later asked her adoptive father if they could go watch the dolphins at the lagoon, something Thanos clearly did not want to do but humored with a maybe. But what ensued is what forever changed his training of Gamora into love. An enemy of Thanos arrived to kill him, and in their tussle, Thanos destroyed his enemy, but Gamora's doll was scorched beyond repair. He apologized and promised to replace the doll, but Gamora responded that she didn't want a new doll and would make her dolly all better, and thanked him for being a good master despite the fact that she had just saved his life. From that moment forward, he loved Gamora, even if he could never admit it to himself. It takes a lot to let your kids stand on their own and crush a weak and pathetic nation under their feet without holding their hands the whole time. This is an area Thanos excels in. During the Infinity War, Thanos sends all the children of the Black Order to different parts of the universe to crush various enemies and handle different tasks. A less trusting dad would make sure to look over his kid's shoulders every step of the way, but not the Mad Titan. He just sat back and made sure his will was being done, looking like a proud father as Black Dwarf invaded Wakanda, or as Corvus Glaive held sway as the ruler of Thanos' galactic territories while the Mad Titan searched for Infinity Stones. Trusting your kids to make the right decisions is a big part of being a good dad. In this area, Thanos excels, although he could just be lazy and not want to do some stuff. Thanos is a very hands-on dad. When you aren't handling the task you've been assigned, he has no problem stepping in and making sure the job gets done. Of course, after it is all said and done, he will take you out for ice cream and let you know what you did wrong and how to improve. The ice cream, of course, is a beating of cosmic proportions, and letting you improve means letting you live in a recovery bay until you are healthy enough to be sent back out on a mission, which you better not fail, or you will be getting some more hands-on parenting. Basically, what we're saying is that Thanos is hands-on in the most literal way possible, and that he often shows his parenting style by brutalizing his kids. This is different than showing tough love because many times there isn't even a lesson to be learned from his rage. Well, maybe that you shouldn't ever fail, and that if you do, a nice hot beating is waiting for you. Now, of course, this list was a joke, and in no way do we think that Thanos is the best dad in the Marvel Universe. But we would love to hear who you think is the greatest dad in the Marvel Universe, whether that is egghead dad Reid Richards or younger than his kid dad Cyclops. Let us know in the comments and make sure to like this video.